I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that it was all started by a mouse.
Hello, everyone out there in podcast land. This is the Beyond the Mouse podcast, the podcast for all things Disney for NPR Illinois Community Voices and for the Front Row Network. I'm your host, Craig. I'm joined today by my co-host, Vanessa Ferguson.
Hello.
And other co-host, Brett Rutherford.
Hello there.
We also have such a wonderful gathering of individuals with us today. So excited because, you know, as Disney lovers, we are blessed to have such an amazing community of content creators, whether that's somebody that has a podcast that's telling you about the history of the people that made the magic and the history of the attractions that you love, or maybe it's a content creator who's on YouTube every week that is bringing you videos of the parks and letting you experience that through him every single week. Or maybe it's a podcast that's built an entire community of people from around the world to talk about their love and their shared love of Disney. Whether it's any of those, we are so lucky and fortunate to be able to have those types of content creators. And we are having a heck of a March Madness bracket for you today. We're going to be definitively defining the most and best attraction at Walt Disney World. And there's no arguing about this. Once it's done, it's set in stone. This is the best attraction that is on property at Walt Disney World. And to do that, we had to invite in so many great content creators from around the internet. First, I'd like to welcome Justin from the Disney Dads podcast. How are you, sir?
Hey, buddy. It's good to see you. I've missed that smiling face over the last couple months since the last time we spoke.
Yeah. It's so nice to see you again. Can you give us, I think what we should do for our listeners, first of all, you should go and check all of these people out. And you've already heard them on previous episodes. I should mention that Justin was on episode 14 of Beyond the Mouse doing cool runnings. And also on episode 44, we did a D23 live recap where Brett was breaking into a house while we were doing it. It was really fun.
Sort of, not really.
It was so great. So great. But Justin, can you plug the Disney Dads, tell people where to go find them and what you've been up to?
Certainly. Thanks. Yeah. I mean, Disney Dads is a podcast that's been around about 4 years. It's me and two other guys, Jason and Mike, and we are family driven, all positivity. And we do everything from attraction based to in the parks, a little bit of history, but mostly just talking about those magical memories that families made. And we love interacting with our community, with our Disney Dads family, because it's them who drive it, it's cast members who drive it, and it's all based around those people.
Absolutely. Wonderful to have you here. So glad that you're here. We're also so glad that Matthew is here from the Imagineer podcast. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Thanks for inviting me back. I was just thinking we were talking about Halloween last time we spoke. So it felt like, honestly, a year ago. Time this year has just escaped me. I've lost all concept of time.
Well, what's incredible is the amount of content that you've been putting out as well, and so many amazing interviews that you've had with Imagineers. You spoke to, I think, the daughter of Mary Blair recently, right? Or was it niece?
It was the niece. Unfortunately,
the niece.
Mary's children are no longer around either. It's a small family, but I did get the chance to chat with her niece, and she knew so much about her aunt's life, so it was a real pleasure to talk to her.
Absolutely. And you were, like you said, you were on our Halloween episode. That was episode 76. So if people want to go back and listen to that episode of the podcast for sure. But can you tell people how to find Imagineer podcast and also what you've been up to?
Yeah, it's really easy. Imagineerpodcast.com is probably the quickest way to get to everything. And then I'm on social media. You can find me on just about any social media platform out there, but Imagineerpodcast.com and Imagineer Podcast on your favorite podcast app is the easiest way to get to all of that. We've been doing a lot more of the same. It's a lot of Disney history, interviewing Imagineers like you mentioned. Also, since we last spoke, I had Raleigh Crump on the show, which was an honor. He's a riot and an incredible person to talk to. I almost had to bleep out a couple of things. It came really close. He's just got that fun-spirited personality, but that all worked out fine. And we're talking about Disney history. We're coming up on episode 100 in March. So I am excited. I still haven't officially decided what it's going to be, but I'm going to try to make it as big of a milestone episode as I can make it.
That is so cool. We are April 2nd is going to be our 100th episode. So we are excited about that.
Right around the same
also
time.
Trying to plan as well. Yeah, it's like you're trying to make sure it's a landmark episode, but not putting too much pressure on yourself. So, but you bring out great episodes all of the time. And then we're also joined today by John from BigFatPanda.com as well. You can follow him on YouTube and see all these videos and amazing shows that he does on YouTube. But how are you, John?
Doing pretty good. I'm really honored to be here with this group, by the way. From the last time I was with you, you guys really made an impact on me. So I'm so happy to be back. Thank you.
Yeah,
Oh,
thanks so
thank
much
you.
for coming back. And you were our most
Wow.
recent of the guests. You came on in episode 89. We talked all about 2021 and going back into the parks. And I saw that you've been back to the parks since our discussion as well.
Not as much as I'd like to be, but yes, I do. I dip my toe back in the pool a little bit, and then I get nervous and I run back out just until I can get the vaccine and feel a little more confident.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully that's very soon. But I kind of mentioned already bigfatpanda.com, but can you go ahead and plug where people can find you and sort of also what you've been up to and what kind of content you have been bringing out?
That is now the epicenter of everything. Bigfatpanda.com, the way Matt has imagineerspodcast.com, goes everywhere. But what I'm trying to do something different. I want to do a Disney trivia night. And I've gone through different softwares because I use StreamYard for my Tuesday 8 p.m. show. And I was ready to do it, and we were using a software called Kahoot, but we found out that with the delay, it does not work. But it looks like CrowdPur, a little bit more expensive, a little bit more snazzy, is going to work. So when that comes out, hopefully I will be able to invite you all to a fun Disney trivia night. Maybe I'll do it once a month if I can. I always wanted to be a game show host, so that's I'm trying to make my own dream come true.
That sounds like so much fun. And for sure, we would be there in a heartbeat. So I so happy all of you are here. I want to make sure we get to this bracket. People are on the edge of their seats. They don't know what the seating is going to be. And the first thing I have to say is that I did not come up with this bracket. I am going to put that on Front Street right now. We have another host of the Front Row Network, Lou Hare, who does all of our brackets for us. We're going to do several brackets with the Front Row Network as we go through March. And he came up with these, and he wanted to make sure that I convey to you what it was about these rides and attractions and why he decided to seed them the way that he did. So he said that entries are seeded based on longevity, popularity, according to various Disney blogs and content creators, and the icon factor. So how much people think of this type of a ride or attraction when they think of going to Walt Disney World. We do have 16 attractions in Magic Kingdom, and that might be because Magic Kingdom is the most iconic of the 4 parks. And then we also have 8 attractions in Disney's Hollywood Studios. That might be because it just recently got such a refurbishment and more life has been brought into that park. And then he only did 4 attractions in Disney's Animal Kingdom, which is tough, by the way. And then also only 4 attractions in all of Epcot. We do have some play-in games to do as well, but we are going to get right to it. The way that this is going to work, we have 5 panelists. I am not going to vote. I'm just going to host. And they have not seen the seatings yet. They don't know what attractions are where. They probably have some indication of where things might have landed, but we also might have some surprises here. What we're going to do is limit everyone to up to a minute to say what their vote is on a particular attraction or matchup. They don't have to use that whole minute, but they're welcome to if they like. And then whoever gets the majority of vote moves on to the next round. After that, you can whine and complain, because I know I do on these bracket shows. But it doesn't matter, because that attraction is gone. It no longer exists in Walt Disney World. They're closing it down as we speak, right? No, this is
That's
all just
awfully
for
harsh. That's a little
This is real
harsh.
dark.
Oh, I know,
Yeah.
I know. Because we have 3
That's where
guests
they
here,
land.
I feel like we should allow you to kind of pick the direction that we go. So I'm going to go to Matthew first. What attractions or what region would you like to focus on? We have 2 Magic Kingdom regions. We have the DAC region, and we also have Epcot and Hollywood Studios.
I'm going to switch it up. I know a lot of people would go to Magic Kingdom first, but because I used to work at Animal Kingdom and I'm really curious if my attraction showed up in the top 4, which I'm a little nervous that maybe it didn't, I'll go to Animal Kingdom first.
All right, all right. So we are going the 1 seed versus the 4 seed. I think pretty obviously you thought that the 1 seed would be Flight of Passage. So 1 seed, Flight of Passage, going up against the 4 seed, Dinosaur. And Matt, because you worked in Animal Kingdom, I'm going to go to you first for your decision.
Oh, well, I can already tell you my wife would pick Dinosaur because it's her favorite attraction, but just because it is the new shiny object at Disney's Animal Kingdom, I'll have to go with Flight of Passage. I think as a whole, it is one of the most technologically advanced attractions at Walt Disney World. It is a thrill. It leaves you and many guests crying at the end. It's emotional. It's beautiful. It has so many incredible effects. And for me, it is one of the must-dos at Walt Disney World, period. So I will say Flight of Passage.
All right, Vanessa, we'll go to you next. What is your pick?
Well, I don't really love either ride. I've not ridden Flight of Passage because of motion sickness, and I'm a little scared.
I get motion sickness too. You should do it.
I know you say that, Matthew, but I'm just a little worried about it. And then Dinosaur, I would used to love it, but then I rode Indiana Jones in Disneyland, and now when I ride Dinosaur, it makes me sad that I'm not in Disneyland. And everyone's nodding, so I know I'm right. So I guess I will go with Flight of Passage because I don't know what it's like, but I hear good things.
All right, Justin, we'll go to you next.
Although I love Cinderella's, this is not her time to dance. I'm definitely going to go with Flight of Passage.
Right.
With that, I mean, it's one of the biggest staples to a Disney vacation is to ride Flight of Passage at Animal Kingdom. With that said, though, let me give Dinosaur its props. It is a attraction that has withstood time for me. I think that it has a lot of hidden gems. I drive my family crazy pointing to the throwbacks to McDonald's, you know, with the old with them sponsoring it back in the day. My wife tells me if I tell her one more time what those pipes mean, she's going to kick me out of our vacations. And so, but I am going to go with Flight of Passage as well.
Oh, fantastic. Brett, your vote doesn't really count too much, but what's your vote here? Flight of Passage or Dinosaur?
Flight of Passage. It
All
has
right.
the whoosh factor and the takes your breath away and the gorgeous factor. And isn't this inspirational? And may I please get my stomach back? Thank you. So,
All right, John, what would your vote be for either Flight of Passage or Dinosaur?
I like the whoosh factor, Brett. You know, it's funny because originally, before I thought it out, I was going to say Dinosaur just because I remember when it first opened how much I loved it. And I really felt like I went somewhere and saw dinosaurs. And I still, to this day, love loss of traction and get nervous. Like I'm not going to outrun the thing. But Flight of Passage, I forgot who said that people cry. Matt, was that you coming off?
That was me. Yeah.
I did tear up on it because I felt like this fat guy flew. I feel like I flew. I was like, this is as close as I'm getting to being a bird. So yeah, I'm going with Flight of Passage. It was an absolute experience, and it doesn't get lower every time you ride it. It still maintains an amazing experience.
And with that, Dinosaur is extinct from this bracket. It is gone. And here we go into our 2 and 3 seed. Again, I think this might make you happy, Matthew. The 2 seed, Expedition Everest, versus the 3 seed, Kilimanjaro Safaris. And so we're going to go with Brett first. What is your vote between those two?
This counts into your minute. I'm just letting you
okay. Okay. Thank you. I will say Kilimanjaro Safaris just because I love them both. Okay. Just because, you know, there's nothing I've gone on early morning safaris where the mist is rising and I feel that I have been transported to the safari areas of Africa. And I, in fact, am on a safari. And, you know, and you get to see giraffes, you know, like really, really, really close. And anyway, and it's a classic. Unfortunately, this last time that I went, every time the tour guide stopped, we were taking pictures. We were taking pictures of not the backside of water, but the backside of nature. So that was not so great, but you know, that's okay. So Kilimanjaro Safaris.
Absolutely. All right. That's one vote for the 3 seed to upset the 2 seed. John, you're next. What do you think?
I love Expedition Everest, and that should shut off. Sorry. I thought I had it on silent. What I think with Expedition Everest is with the Yeti not working, it upsets me because I'm old enough to remember how awesome it was when he did his thing. But in any event, going back to your, what was it? Longevity, popularity, icon
status.
Right.
Yes.
Icon status. There's no way I can overlook the Kilimanjaro Safaris. The fact that it's different every time you go on it. And Brett, going back to your thing, I've had safaris where that's all I've seen. And it was a joke that we only saw the back of every single animal. So it's different every time. I'm going with the Safari.
All right. Matthew, I have a hard time figuring out where I should place you in this voting order because I think I have a premonition of where your vote might be, but go ahead. We'll let you go next.
Yeah, I have an unfair vote here since I used to work at Kilimanjaro Safaris. I will say that I've also been backstage at Everest and have a sincere appreciation and love for Expedition Everest. But all that being said, taking off my former cast member hat, I'm still going to give the vote to Kilimanjaro Safaris for a few reasons. One, accessibility. Everyone can do it. Two, it has the dynamic live factor. It's different every time, which John mentioned. Three, it is the largest attraction. It is larger than the Magic Kingdom as a whole and also the most expensive. Four, a huge hourly ride capacity that so many people can enjoy at once. And I'll also just say that from a storyline perspective and the rich details that you can imagine and feel like you're in the middle of an African reserve, and it's just an incredible experience. So I think Walt would have been proud and would have loved it and done it a lot, and it is high on my list. So I will put that as my pick.
So this match actually is decided for the underdog, but we need to get some votes still. Justin, would you have picked, or what would you pick between Expedition Everest and Kilimanjaro Safaris?
Well, you made it easy on me. When I like going later, this makes voting easy when it's like this. I'm going to go with the Safari because it is the entire idea of Animal Kingdom revolves around that one attraction. Now I'm going to grandstand and take my other 35 seconds to tell everyone right now, if you have not done it, do the Wild Africa Trek, because that is an amazing experience to where you really get behind the scenes of that amazing attraction. So next time you're there, which my little one's finally 8, and once they can reopen tours we're going to do, go do the Wild Africa Trek.
Just don't do it in August.
No. Well, I'm used to the heat. Let's do this. I'm ready to roll.
And batting cleanup this time, Vanessa, what's your thought?
The Safari, and it's because
this is nuts.
when I it's not nuts. When I rode it, there were 2 elephants and they were linking their trunks like this. You can't see that on an Everest mountain of danger. So Safari.
All right. I will say that I absolutely love Expedition Everest. It's sad to see it leave the tournament so early. That must have just had a bad night, I guess. You know, the feeling, there's certain tactile feelings you get only at Walt Disney World. And these two have heard this over and over again, but you three, I haven't annoyed you with this yet. So when you're going backwards down Everest, your stomach feels this certain drop. And it literally is the only time in the world you ever feel that particular kind of a drop. And I love it. Some people probably hate it for that, but I'm just like, oh my gosh, that to me is like you are in Disney World, and it's just wonderful. So love Expedition Everest, but Craig, it is out of the tournament. What's that?
I just have to ask you about that backwards thing. For me, it does feel like I'm going to get to this point of no return of something horrible, and that's when it immediately stops.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
is that the same for you?
It's like it's timed perfectly, and also I love that they almost it has to be on the same system, but it does seem almost a little random when they drop you backwards. So there's sometimes where you're like, oh my goodness, I've been up here for a while. Is this thing working? And then that's when they drop you back. I absolutely love that ride. So now we're going to go to, because Justin made a point of mentioning that I went to him last a couple of times. Justin, what area would you like to go into? Would you like to do Epcot? Would you like to do Hollywood Studios, or would you like to jump over to the Magic Kingdom?
I'm going to go with my favorite park, and that is Epcot.
All right. Keeping in the same region. So this will be in the same region in the Sweet 16 and in the Elite 8 as Disney's Animal Kingdom. So it works out really well. There is a play-in matchup, and I need to remind the listeners who are going to yell right now that I did not make this bracket, because this is the one where I said, I actually immediately texted Lou and I said, what in the world are you doing here? So the 4-seed play-in matchup is between the Grand Fiesta Tour and Spaceship Earth. That is the 4-seed. So we're going to do this play-in matchup first. Maybe we can get through these votes a little quick if you'd like. But Justin, we'll let you go first. Grand Fiesta Tour versus Spaceship Earth.
This should be an absolutely no-brainer. We're going to go with the icon. We're going to go with the story of the history of the world, Spaceship Earth. I mean, come on, really? This is not even. Look, I love Donald, and I love the Grand Fiesta Tour, and I love smelling that delicious Mexican food as I go by in my my boat. but this is a no-brainer. Spaceship Earth, of course.
Absolutely. All right. Matthew, your thoughts on this plan?
This is easy. It's Spaceship Earth for sure. It's the park icon, and it's one of the most just enjoyable attractions at the park. I already predict what the next two are going to be, and I'm just curious why, if there's a boat ride that's being mentioned, Living with the Land isn't on there. It's the longest running boat ride at the park and probably my favorite. And the other one was, I forgot the other one I was going to think of, but I already know the next two. But yeah, I'm going to say Spaceship. Maybe I don't. I had no idea Grand Fiesta Tour was going to be on there, but definitely Spaceship Earth.
Yeah, I feel like I need to give you all Lou's number. And so he can just get random area codes from around the country, just saying, what in the world is this? Okay. John, we'll go to you next in this play-in matchup. What do you think?
Definitely Spaceship Earth. I love
All
Fiesta
right.
Tour, but Spaceship Earth.
All right. Vanessa?
It's Spaceship Earth. Jose Panchito Donald, they're cardboard cutouts right now. They're not even there anymore.
Brett, can you round us out on this play-in?
Spaceship Earth.
All right. Now we'll
yes.
go immediately into the 1-4 matchup, which will lead us off now. So it's Sauron versus Spaceship Earth. And we'll go to Justin first on this one as well.
Ooh, this gets tougher for me. I'm going to stick with the icon of the park and go Spaceship Earth. Moving on from the 4th seed. I love Sauron. Everything from the pre-show to going flying over. Look, half of the smells in our house come from Sauron because I ordered those amazing candles and those amazing scents. But Spaceship Earth just holds a special part. I think it's more of a, for me as a kid, riding Spaceship Earth with my family, and it was part of my childhood and growing up in the parks. And so for me, Spaceship Earth is definitely needs to move on. I don't think you can kick an icon out this early.
All right, Brett, you're up.
Well, okay. If it's the present Soarin', I will say I would prefer Soarin' over California. And but so I will say Spaceship Earth. I will say, because everyone's talking about smelling and living in the smelling world. I do not live in the smelling world. I have no sense of smell. So I feel that I miss out on a number of experiences at Walt Disney World, both Soarin' and Spaceship Earth, because of Rome. I hear Rome burns and other things too. But anyway, smelling world aside, I will say Spaceship Earth.
All right. All right. You know, we are just now dabbling into Diz Twitter. You can find us on Beyond Mouse. We just started a Twitter account. And I've heard that there's a lot of differing opinions out there amongst Disney fans, but all of you have voted the same way on all of these matchups so far. Is this going to hold true? Vanessa, what's your vote?
Well, Soren makes me very ill. So much so that I have a favorite toilet in the Land Pavilion. So I cannot vote for Soren. For all that it has done to me. So I will vote again for Spaceship Earth.
All right. All right. Matthew, your thoughts?
I'll get on my soapbox again for a second. If it were Living with the Land versus Spaceship Earth, I would have a hard time deciding, but sticking with the Land Pavilion. But I think that it's hard to, just like everyone else has said, it's hard to compete against Spaceship Earth at Epcot. And Soarin' is an incredible attraction that, I mean, since it opened at Epcot in 2005 and California Adventure 2001, it's obviously won over so many hearts, and it's something that my family always does. We love to do, but again, Spaceship Earth has a longevity. It is when we think of icons, the icon status at Epcot. So yeah, I have to continue to move Spaceship Earth forward.
All right, John, you're going to go first next, but you're going last this time. What do you think?
Definitely going with Spaceship Earth. I think the whole conveyance system and the burning of Rome tastes like mesquite chicken to me. So think of mesquite the next time you go in there. That's that smell.
It's true.
Okay.
Brett, that can be a blessing or a curse though at Disney sometimes with no smell. So it's okay.
That is true. I was just listening to a previous Disney Dads episode where you're talking about maybe wanting that social distancing to stay in place, right?
I wouldn't mind it.
And we cannot forget the therapeutic aspect of Spaceship Earth, because the ride down does great things for your back when you've been compressed walking all day.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
Soarin' ride it for therapy.
Soarin' launches out of the #1 seed, and they're sitting home for the rest of this tournament. The next matchup is going to go to John first, the #2 seed Test Track, and the #3 seed Frozen Ever After.
Okay, I'm definitely going with Test Track. I like the length of the ride. I like the different styles of it as you're going. I even like the whole new version, even though it feels kind of Tronish. And I do love Frozen Ever After, but not as much. I think it's too fast of a ride. So I'm still going to go with Test Track, especially for icon purposes of Epcot.
All right, Vanessa, you're up.
Okay, so I haven't ridden Test Track, but I did ride the Cars Land ride, and I hear they're very similar. So if it was the Cars Land, Brett says no, but that is what you told me when we were there. I will rewind the tapes. But
Vanessa, you can ride Test Track. It's not a motion sickness thing at all.
well,
Radiator Springs Racers actually gets me more motion sick than Test Track.
Really?
So I have to second that. Yeah.
okay, well, so I'm not going to vote for Test Track. I'm going to vote for Frozen, and also has that backwards whoosh factor. Brett, looking for your vote here. The whoosh factor. It's like this. So that's why I'm voting for Frozen.
And now I've got to go to the dad with a young child, a young daughter, to say, is it Test Track or is it Frozen Ever After?
Well, this is easy for me. If I did not vote for my daughter's favorite attraction since she was 3 in Epcot, then she would banish me. And her favorite attraction is Test Track. So Test Track gets my vote. Starting at the age of 3, she started riding it hands up, hitting 64.7 miles per hour going around the curves. So for me, Test Track takes it. Frozen, we just talked about this on an episode not too long ago, though. I think Imagineering did such a good job with Frozen and taking an already established attraction with Maelstrom and then implementing this story into there. I really think they did a great job. So, but Test Track's got to get my vote.
All right, Brett, are you going to tie it up or are you going to give the win to Test Track?
Let's see. Well, everything is wonderful at Walt Disney World. But I'm thinking that the last time that GM forked over some money for the redo of Test Track, the pockets weren't nearly as deep. And honestly, the Imagineers were a little lacking in that. I think that has to do with money. But anyway, so I'm voting for Frozen Ever After because I know that Maelstrom had its fans. I was not one of them. However, Frozen is such a wonderful overlay from the queue on, and let it go and you whoosh back. I'm like going. That was good.
I love those whooshes.
It was kind of the first time we get to see new audio animatronic technology with the face projections, and their arms are so teeny. How do they make them move?
That's my question, Brett. When I see Elsa do her arm thing, I'm like, how is this achieved?
It's magic. So anyway,
well, I'll tell you what, there's been an awful lot of Imagineer talk during this round, and it makes sense. It'll be settled by the Imagineer podcast. Matt, where are you going?
This is tough. I am a fan of both of these attractions, especially considering I also loved Maelstrom and the original Test Track. I do still enjoy the newer versions of the attractions too. Frozen Ever After, I think, is potentially better than Maelstrom, which I think a lot of Disney fans, especially Disney historians, will probably be sending me angry emails about.
You just got canceled, actually.
Yeah.
I hate to.
No.
They're both excellent. I'm gonna pick Test Track. I think the history of it, first of all, it does date back a little bit longer. Well, technically Maelstrom goes back farther than Test Track, but the history of Test Track actually goes back to Bob Gurr in the late 50s. So it is a really longer history than most people realize. And I think when you think of Epcot, for me, it's still one of those attractions that is very high on the list for must-dos, and Frozen Ever After is too. But just the interactivity, the thrill of the attraction, and although the theming of the first one was really great, I still really like the theming of, I think it's a better fit for future worlds, the current theme. So I am going to say Test Track.
All right. That means by a 3-2 vote, Test Track moves on to the Sweet 16.
Where do I get out of this place?
John. We're going to go over to John, who's going to pick which region we're going to go to next. Remember that there's 8 seeds and there's 8 attractions in the DHS region. And then there's actually 16 over in Magic Kingdom. What would you like to do first?
Okay, I would go to Magic Kingdom, but let's save that for last. So let's go over to Hollywood Studios.
All right. So I'll also have you vote first in this first matchup. The 1 seed Rock and Roller Coaster versus the 8th seed, Runaway Railway.
Okay. I'm not going with longevity. Longevity is in what I think might last longer. I have to go with Runaway Railway. I love Rock and Roller Coaster. I love Aerosmith, but I don't think it's going to last as far as the theming of it. But I am blown away with the technology on Runaway Railway and how it has a repeat value based on where you sit. I can ride it over and over and still have the same big jerky smile. So Runaway Railway for me for that.
All right, we go to Matthew next.
I have not done Runaway Railway yet. Unfortunately, by the time the park's closed and living here in New York, it's a little hard to get to Florida nowadays. But not even having done Runaway Railway, despite loving Rock and Roller Coaster, I am going to agree with John and go with Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I think it's the full package from everything I've seen and read. I think that it is going to last and will become an iconic attraction at the park if it's not there already. So yes, that for me. And it's got Mickey and Minnie. So they have to help bring this one over the edge. That's my pick.
They all know this, but we would not be good podcasters if we didn't shamelessly plug our own content. You can find our interview with Kevin Rafferty on episode 82. And Kevin actually just announced his retirement. So best wishes. Certainly Runaway Railway is a great project to go out on. Justin, we're going to go to you. You have done both of these and you've done Runaway Railway a couple of times, I believe, correct?
Oh, many times.
What do you think?
Yeah. So we're going to have to make it a stretch. No, a super stretch. But you all can go to the party. I'm hanging back and staying with Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. For me, this is the best attraction put into Walt Disney World in the past decade. It is fun for all ages. The first time I rode it, I wanted to dislike it just because it replaced something that I loved and that was a part of my childhood. But afterwards, I was awesome. I was all smiles and bought the socks. As I exited there at the shop, the socks and the Christmas ornament, which are two random things. So for me, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway has to move on.
Okay. Wow. An 8 seed taking on a 1 seed, probably a questionable 1 seed. I think we could all admit that because our 2 seed probably should have been a 1 seed. That's a little bit of foreshadowing for you all. So Brett, tell us, what would you have voted for between Rock and Roller Coaster and Runaway Railway?
Runaway Railway. Definitely.
That sounds real confident.
No, definitely. No, yeah. Are you kidding me? No. Okay. I was just okay. No, I was there. I was at Walt Disney World, and it makes me speechless because I enjoyed it so much. I mean, I had my mask on, but I'm like had my mask, if anyone be able to see, what was behind my mask, my mouth was like this the whole time with a big smile on my face because it was so enjoyable. And you can even watch YouTube videos and you will be surprised. You will be surprised on, surprises, shall we say. Yeah, we know. Anyway, so it was so good. And John, as you said, because we spoke right before I went, I hadn't told them yet that I was going, and it was still a little iffy, but anyway, but you were saying multiple rides, it's different every single time. Completely. And where you are you might be in one cart here, and when you're in a line, you're like right next to Goofy, and then the other time you're back, or if you start in the back and then you end up, I'm right here with Goofy. Oh my gosh, this is so good. So
and you definitely see different
charming
things too.
Yeah, for sure. Vanessa,
and because we had Kevin,
Brett, I'm going to cut you off from your minutes, sir.
You are encroaching in my 60 seconds, please.
Yeah, you're encroaching on Vanessa's time. Let the lady speak, Brett.
Okay, so I haven't ridden either ride, which makes me very sad because when I know. When I was a teen, I was a huge Aerosmith fan. I used to ask my mom if Steven Tyler could possibly be my real father. So I stand outside Rock and Roller Coaster going, Papa. But he's not, but sadly. But instead, I'll vote for the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway because it looks wonderful.
Well, and have you ridden anything in Disney World?
Craig, you really want to?
He's ridden a lot at Disneyland.
You all know I love a good dad joke and a good pun. So this is a deep cuts for you Disney fans. In a shocker, the number 1 seed, Rock and Roller Coaster, is eliminated from this bracket, and Runaway Railway will move on. Now, we're actually going to go down to the number 2 seed and do the 2-7 matchup, which is going to be Rise of the Resistance as the 2 seed and Toy Story Midway Mania, or sorry, Toy Story Mania now. I think they dropped the Midway as the 7 seed. So we're going to go to Vanessa first because you were last time.
Okay. So no surprise, I have not ridden the the Star Wars, what's it called again? Rise of the Resistance. I haven't ridden it. We haven't been, Craig. Don't even act like you've ridden it because I know you haven't.
I've ridden it in my dreams.
Exactly, me too. And I would ride that one. So I'm gonna vote for that. Also because on Toy Story I rode it and I got stuck and my finger hurt and my shoulder hurt after. I'm like, I don't know why everyone's so crazy about this. I had to bring my own sandwich and eat it on the ride. Anyway, so that's why Star Wars all the way.
All right. John, we'll go to you next. What do you think between Rise of the Resistance and Toy Story Mania?
I never liked Toy Story Mania. I just thought it was a big video game. And I'm very much into the physical sets, except for Flight of Passage. I just think is amazing. I just was like, no, I don't know. I think it's overrated. But Rise of the Resistance, and again, I love Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which is the same type of ride technology. Rise of the Resistance is also fantastic and just an amazing experience from beginning to end. You feel like you left the planet and returned. So I'm definitely going with Rise of the Resistance.
All right. We won't tell Kevin Rafferty you didn't like his ride. So we won't pass that along. Right? Brett, you're up next. What do you think?
Well, I was checking my guidebook here. And in fact, you were correct because Toy Story Mania, exclamation point.
I think, they got rid of the Midway for some reason.
So I'm going to drop it too. Even though I wrote it and got a toy for your son there, which was, I was happy to do that. Rise of the Resistance is a game changer. It's such an immersive experience that I'm having a hard time. I'm having lots of anxiety thinking of the number 1 and number 2 seed already. But anyway, Rise of the Resistance. And, if you can get in there, you'll have a good time. It's a little bit of a challenge of getting your boarding pass, but I got it 4 out of 6 times this last time, but
All right. Well, Justin, the decision has been made, but where would your vote have gone?
Toy Story Mania is amazing. Okay, first off, anytime I can crush my young child in a game at Disney, I am all for it. It makes me happy. But I think Rise of the Resistance is the future of attractions at the Disney parks. The technology, and when I finally was able to do it after many trips to the parks, once I was sitting there and no longer had to give the evil scowl at people eating at Woody's Toy Box and they get the boarding pass and I don't. And then when I finally got it and did it, I thought, this is amazing. It's such an immersive attraction that lasts much longer than people would think if you have not done it. The fact that the queue is immersive as well. So for me, it's a no-brainer, Rise of Resistance.
All right. Thank you, Matthew. Your cleanup on this one.
Easy choice. I also love Toy Story Mania. Justin called Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway the best attraction at Walt Disney World in a decade. I haven't done it yet, so I don't know. But I would say for me, it would be Rise of the Resistance. The best way I can sum up Rise of the Resistance, it is our generation's Haunted Mansion. All together, the full package and immersive storytelling, incredible special effects. Just, you don't know when the ride starts and when it ends. It blows my mind. I've been lucky enough to attempt the boarding group twice and gotten it both times, and it has been incredible to experience. I cannot wait to get back. So much so that I have intentionally booked 3 out of 6 days in my next trip for Hollywood Studios first, just to try to get it. And I was tempted to do all 6 days to try to get a boarding group. And if I get all 3 days, I'll be thrilled. If you want more, awesome. I did a whole hour-long podcast episode about why it's incredible, so you should check it out. But
yeah, for sure. Brett actually booked his while he was sitting at the airport in St. Louis, so you'll hear about that. Actually, you would have heard about that at this point already in a trip review that we dropped. So now I'm going to go to the 4-5 seed in the DHS region. 4 seed, Tower of Terror. 5th seed, Slinky Dog Dash. We're going to go to Justin first. What do you think?
Ooh, this is a tough one.
This is bad.
Oh, this is like choosing between your 2 favorite people. For me, Okay, I'm gonna go with the new icon, and that's Tower of Terror. Ever since the hat is gone now, and the reason for it is I think Slinky Dog is the best family coaster at Disney World. It's a lot of fun. I hate waiting in the sun for an hour for it. That's my only downfall with it, is if it's really hot and you're standing outside. But Tower of Terror, the storytelling, the Imagineering of it, the experience itself, everything about that attraction makes me want to come back for more each and every time. If I don't do that to a day to Hollywood Studios, it's not a successful day. So that has to move on.
All right. Matthew, you're next.
Yeah, I would describe Slinky Dog Dash as a fun family experience and Tower of Terror as an iconic Disney attraction. Slinky Dog Dash is the only one of the two that I can do, to Vanessa's point about motion sickness. I can do Slinky Dog Dash. I cannot do Tower of Terror, which saddens me deeply because it is such an incredible experience, and the Imagineering, the storytelling, the creativity, the environment, and the feeling. I know it was high on the list for our Halloween discussion, and it is high on this list here as well. It definitely is the one that goes through for me.
All right, Panda, what you got?
Love Slinky Dog Dash. As a matter of fact, I think it's a little bit higher than a family coaster. Everybody I tell it's a family coaster, they're like, no, that was more intense than they thought. But Tower of Terror is just an amazing, iconic. I still get the butterflies going on it. So I'm going to go with Tower of Terror for sure.
All right. Vanessa, you're up next. So it's been decided, but what would you like?
I will go with Tower of Terror. I will never ride it again. I had one of the most traumatic riding experiences ever riding the Guardians themed version. It was awful. But I did ride Slinky. I liked it, but just when I think of icons, I have to go with Tower of Terror. And we can watch the people at the top as they're dropped. So there's some joy in that as an outside person.
After this episode, we really might have to do like a therapeutic episode for you as like why is it that you love Disney so much here, Vanessa? I feel bad going through all these attractions.
I mean, I can ride Jungle Cruise over and over again. So
oh, that's true. That's true.
You weren't on the boat that sank?
I wasn't. Oh, but okay. I would have loved it. It would have been so fun. We would have made the best of it.
Brett, what do you think?
Slinky Dog Dash. That is not my answer, but Slinky Dog Dash. If you ride in the back, which is what I did the first time, there's a lot of whoosh in that and a lot of stomach whoosh, and I'm like, wow. And then I rode in front, and I'm like going, oh, this is a lovely family roller coaster. so placement is key there.
Yes.
But I would, of course, have to go with the Tower of Terror. I mean,
all right.
It's so well done, and I never get my minute. No, go ahead.
All right. We're going to move on to the last round in the opening round of the DHS region, and that is the number 3 seed Star Tours versus the number 6 seed Smugglers Run. I will tell you that I think that I found Lou's logic here, because it does seem like he's putting all the Star Wars attractions up against each other before we get to the championship round of DHS, which might be a good idea. So Panda, we're going to go to you first.
All right, I love Star Tours. I can't see how in the world it could compare to Smugglers Run, though. just the pre-show and all that stuff. I definitely have to go to the experience of Smugglers Run, even the interactivity of it. Yeah, Smugglers Run for me, for sure.
All right, Brett, you're up next.
Thank you, Brett. Next,
if you're talking about Star Tours, I mean. And going to Disneyland for just a second, Craig, this is for you. The whoosh, sorry, again, it's the whoosh again. No, when you jump to light speed, which is in fact a whoosh, the jump to light speed at Disneyland is so much better than the one in Florida. And so therefore it's out. So since we're talking Walt Disney World and Disney Hollywood Studios, I would definitely say Smugglers Run, because the first time you get to be an engineer and you get to jump to light speed.
Attention, Millennium Falcon. Hondo here. It's not the engineer that controls the jump to light speed. It's the pilot that controls the jump to light speed. Now, back to your regular podcast programming.
You grab hold of that handle that Han Solo has touched, and you know that you're going to light speed. When you go to light speed, it is a feeling like no other.
All right, Justin.
This one's easy
Whoosh.
for me. Smugglers Run. Interactivity is incredible whenever you have an entire family there and you can, take your parts and you get your boarding card and you're like, yes, I'm the, I'm the engineer, I'm the, the gunner. For me, it's a no-brainer. I love Star Tours. It does hold a special place in my heart because I've been doing it for what feels like eternity now. But it's hard to compete with the graphics and everything that Smugglers has. So Smugglers for sure.
All right. I believe it's Matthew next.
I just want to start by saying, Brett, you need to start creating a whoosh scale for attractions. And you can rate them. Yeah. And make it a whole series. I think that would be really enjoyable.
Yes.
I'll sum it up by saying if I called Rise of the Resistance our generation's Haunted Mansion and Smugglers Run is our generation's, or the new generation's Star Tours, I feel like our generation is Star Tours. But for all the reasons everyone has said so far, I think it's got everything Star Tour has and then some. So plus the queue experience could almost supersede the experience of the actual attraction. So getting to walk around the Millennium Falcon and that the first time you round that corner and the sounds and it's just amazing.
Vanessa, you round us out.
Star Tours is another trauma for me and for our friend Erica in
So sorry,
Disneyland.
Vanessa.
I know I don't know why we're bringing up all these past experiences, but so I will go with Smugglers Run, which I haven't ridden, but neither of you, Craig, so hush.
All right. Now we're going to go over to Magic Kingdom. I will say that, you all are so amazing at speaking about these attractions, but we are already heading towards 45 minutes of talking about these, and we haven't gotten through half of the bracket in the first round. So just think about that when you start thinking about your answers. I will also tell you, I normally break this in the second round of the bracket, but our Sweet 16 is going to be lightning round, so you're not going to be able to talk about the attraction. You're just going to say your answer. Brett, I really want you to understand that you're not going to be able to talk about the attraction. You're just going to answer in the second round. However, we are going to do Magic Kingdom and we're going to get through this. So the number one, actually there is a play-in the Magic Kingdom round for the 16th seed, Country Bears Jamboree or the Enchanted Tiki Room. Those are vying for the 16 seed. We're going to go to Vanessa first, only based on her facial reaction.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is so tough because one has a great theme song and the other one has a country song I love. I will go with the Country Bear Jamboree because it's from my roots. I'm from the woods, y'all, and I used to ride a donkey as a child, so I'm gonna go with my roots on this one, Country Bear Jamboree.
All right, Matt.
They're both Walt classics, although Walt didn't get to see Country Bear Jamboree, is one of the last that he developed. I am going to pick Enchanted Tiki Room. I think if I were to take a bet as to the one that will last longer, it will be Enchanted Tiki Room.
All right, Justin.
Tiki Room, historical significance in the parks.
What did you say? I'm sorry.
Historical significance in the parks. Tiki Room.
Okay.
It plays such a huge part in audio animatronics for generations to come.
All right, Brett.
Enchanted Tiki Room.
All right. And Panda.
Enchanted Tiki Room.
Okay. So what that does is it brings Enchanted Tiki Room to the number 16 seed. It will go up against the number 1 seed in the Magic Kingdom, which is Space Mountain. So Space Mountain against the Enchanted Tiki Room. And I'm going to go to John first.
Space Mountain versus the Enchanted Tiki Room. And we're going for longevity, iconic, and what was the other one?
Longevity, icon status, and popularity.
Oh, this is hard. Space Mountain wins there.
All right. We'll go to Vanessa next.
So I've been picking based on just what I like. But for this one, I even though I do really like the Enchanted Tiki Room, I will go with Space Mountain. I don't ride it really much anymore, but I remember riding it as a kid and it just being so amazing to me. So Space Mountain wins.
All right. Space Mountain with 2 votes. Matthew.
As much as I want to see Tiki Room come through, I have to say Space Mountain. It really hurts to get rid of Enchanted Tiki Room, but I think most people would agree the popularity and iconic status of Space Mountain will last probably beyond Enchanted Tiki Room.
That's exactly
it's a
how I
seed
felt.
for a reason, and this is probably for Justin in his neck of the woods, but some one seeds you hate, like Duke, but definitely one seeds like Space Mountain you can enjoy. So Justin, you're up next.
I'm going to go Space Mountain. It's iconic skyline of the Magic Kingdom. Hopefully it's not overthrown by Tron, once it's done. It's something when you talk to someone who's new to Disney, the first thing they say is, I want to ride Space Mountain. They don't say, I want to ride the Tiki or go to the Tiki Room, which I wish they would, but Space Mountain wins out.
All right, Brett, any final thoughts on this matchup?
Enchanted Tiki Room.
Okay, one vote for the Tiki Room. Nice. All right, we're going to go down to the 2 versus the 15 seed. This is where some magic happens sometimes. This is where Cinderellas can be born. So the 2 seed is Pirates of the Caribbean, and the 15 seed is It's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, the Carousel of Progress. Justin, based on that reaction, I got to go to you first.
Oh, you're killing me on this one. Oh, I think one of the most iconic songs ever written with Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. I love it. I love every second of it. But look, once again, when you talk to people who were going to the parks, they say, I got to go ride Pirates. And if we're doing it based on these 3 criteria, I think Pirates has to move on.
All right, Vanessa, you also had a guttural reaction to this. So let's go to you.
I love both, but Pirates is the one that I make sure that I ride every time. And sometimes I miss Carousel. So I'm going to go with Yo-Ho, Pirates, life for me.
Okay, Brett, are you going to keep Carousel of Progress alive, or are you going to go with Pirates?
Well, we know my history. I will do it quickly. We know my history with the Carousel of Progress. It was the first first attraction I went on at Disneyland. And Pirates of the Caribbean is Pirates of the Caribbean. They're both Walt attractions, but I have to go with Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay. Matthew, it's been decided, but what's your thoughts?
I'm going with the group consensus on Pirates of the Caribbean. It's the full package. Carousel of Progress, obviously iconic. 1964 World's Fair. Walt Disney had his handprints all over that, but he also did with Pirates of the Caribbean. And it's to Justin's point, not many people on their first trip to Disney say, I have to do Carousel of Progress. They say, go to Space Mountain, I go do Pirates of the Caribbean. So Pirates
all
of the
right,
Caribbean.
John, what you think?
Pirates for sure. Although I really do want to hear about Vanessa's horror stories in, Carousel of Progress. I'm sure there's something in there that happened that was just absolutely ridiculous.
I just got stuck. I just sat there in the dark
I
for a
was
while.
kidding, but I knew there was something.
That is
There's
great.
always
That is
a
great.
story.
The 8-9 matchup. So this is 7 Dwarves Mine Train versus, which is an 8 seed. 7 Dwarves Mine Train versus Winnie the Pooh as a 9 seed. We'll go to Matthew first.
People don't give the new attraction enough credit. I'm going to say Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh is great. It's not the classic at the park that was Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, which it replaced. But I have to say, like, I'll wait an hour and a half to do Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. It's still a really fun, enjoyable family coaster. So I will give that the vote.
I don't know 100% how old you are, but I see you with a sign outside of Mr. Toad's as like a 10-year-old saying, no, don't take away my Mr. Toad's.
I don't protest changes at Disney. I welcome them. But yeah, it's
Okay.
I'm glad it's still at Disneyland.
Good. Brett, we'll go to you next.
Seven Dwarfs Mine.
Okay. And then we'll go to Vanessa.
I'm not a fan of Winnie the Pooh. First of all, the queue is unsanitary. I don't know why everybody's touching those walls. It's just disgusting. And
I got to
said
say,
that
that's probably gone after COVID.
I said that before the pandemic. I was like, this is disgusting. But Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is a roller coaster I can actually ride and have fun on. So yes, that one.
All right. John?
Disappointed always in Winnie the Pooh. And if you look at Japan's Winnie the Pooh, you will cry for ours even further. Our pieces of cardboard. I don't like it. I love Seven Dwarfs Mine Train from beginning.
All right, Justin, what you think?
Scariest thing in Walt Disney World and something Vanessa should be terrified of are the heffalumps. They are absolutely intimidating. So I am happy to see Winnie the Pooh gone. I'm going Seven Dwarfs.
Yes, Winnie the Pooh and his little balloon take flight out of the Magic Kingdom. They're gone. We're going to go to the number 7 seed, which happens to be your host's favorite attraction in the park, not to sway anyone, but it's Peter Pan's Flight versus the number 10 seed, Under the Sea with Ariel. So we're going to go to Brett first.
Oh, gosh. Under the Sea with Ariel.
No, it's just because you have.
It's because it's not Disneyland's Peter Pan's flight.
That's not Disneyland.
There's no whoosh in
WDW
Florida.
attraction.
There's no whoosh in Florida. Whoosh.
All right. Well, let's
Makes
whoosh
that
you right out of here and go to Justin. Although I know your opinion of this ride, I think. So
Yes, Peter Pan's flight, it moves on, of course. For me, I am not huge Under the Sea with the Little Mermaid. I think it was a bit phoned in with the, when you see Anna and Elsa over in Epcot, and then you go there and you're like, oh, it's like almost, a little outdated for a new attraction. So for me, iconic. I want to go soaring above London, and I want to be a kid forever. So it fits perfectly with Peter Pan.
all right, John.
I do hope our Peter Pan gets a little plussing, a little love, not a change at all, but nothing beats the flying boat. I love Peter Pan. It cannot compare to the Little Mermaid for me.
All right, Matthew.
I have some things to say to Brett. No.
We'll get into a group thread later. It's okay. We'll just beat up on him. It's fine.
Look, Disneyland's Pirates of the Caribbean is also better than Walt Disney World, and I still put Pirates forward. But you have to go with Walt's favorite, which is Peter Pan's flight.
Thank you.
Well, you don't have
Vanessa,
to.
your cleanup.
Well, I did.
Okay.
I love Under the Sea, but it took me a few trips to build up that love, and I've always enjoyed Peter Pan. So, and I do agree with you, Brett. Disneyland is where it's at, but Peter Pan has to move forward.
All right, 4 more matchups in the Magic Kingdom. Our 5th seed, the Jungle Cruise, versus our 12th seed, Splash Mountain. Vanessa, we got to go to you first.
No, don't do that to me. Okay.
I mean, but come on.
Okay. In truth, I probably love the thrill of Splash Mountain more, but I can't not vote for Jungle Cruise. It's got all my favorite jokes like "Hi, Ina," and backside of water. I mean, come on, it's so funny every time, and it's different every time.
Absolutely, John. We're gonna go to you next.
I got to go with Splash Mountain here. I know it's not as iconic as the Jungle Cruise. And even if they change it, I still think the ride system is going to be better when it's Tiana and Princess and the Frog. So, Splash Mountain.
All right, Justin, your thoughts?
Splash Mountain is my favorite attraction on Walt Disney property, and I do agree it'll be as good or better once they make the change. But I do got to give some love to Jungle Cruise. It has some of my favorite Walt Disney stories when you look back at Walt in the parks. So I know we've talked about it on a couple different episodes, but that's some of the best stories are Walt interacting with the Jungle Cruise. So yeah, really good.
All right, but your vote is for Splash Mountain. Just
Splash Mountain. Sure. I know it was up in the air. That was my way to kind of meander through, and maybe you make it for me. So.
I thought for a second you visited Oslo or Switzerland. I guess Oslo's in Sweden, right? But you visited Switzerland there for a second, but I had to nail you down. Matthew, your thoughts?
I'm going to say that I'm very excited about the changes to both of these, and I think that they will be even better than they already are with the changes. I'm very excited for both. But Splash Mountain. I mean, Jungle Cruise is obviously iconic and attached to Walt, but I think he would have personally really enjoyed Splash Mountain too.
All right, Brett. Splash Mountain will go on. It will be the 12 seed that upsets the 5 seed, which happens in the tournament quite often. But what are your thoughts?
Jungle Cruise.
All right, Jungle Cruise with 2 votes. Splash Mountain gets the 3rd vote and moves on. Next, we're going to go to the number 3 seed, It's a Small World, versus the number 14 seed, the Tomorrow Transit Authority People Mover. So we're going to go to John first, because
I don't like you right now.
When you guys do that, you know that I'm going to go to you.
John, I feel your pain.
Okay, you know what? I have to go with the Wedway People Mover. I love It's a Small World, I do, but if I have a choice, there's something about the Wedway People Mover that it's Disney. I can't not go on it. I can't not do it. I don't know. That's what I'm going with.
Oh yeah, and it's so sad that I don't believe it's up and running quite yet.
Yesterday,
is it? Oh,
yesterday. Finally got people back on it yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Matthew, you're up.
It's a Small World is one of those attractions you love it or you hate it. I love it. It's iconic, and I never get tired of the song. But I'm going to go with John and say the Wedway People Mover. Regardless, I could ride that thing again and again and again and again, and it never gets old.
All right, Vanessa, your thoughts?
Well, I love the People Mover, and I cannot not ride it when I go. But Small World is like color therapy. And like, I don't have to pay my therapist as much if I go on Small World. It gets me through a good solid 4 weeks of just being purely happy after writing it. It's so bright and delightful, and I have to go with Small World.
The Sherman brothers appreciate you for sure. And now we're going to go to Justin.
I have to. Everything everyone said about the People Mover is fantastic, and that's why I'm voting for it to move on. I love the People Mover. It's been so depressing. I've been in the parks just about every month since reopening, and it's been so depressing to walk by and see it just sitting there. I wanted to cry. I wanted to walk up and just sit on it, and enjoy a drink, and Casey's been open, a hot dog or something. But It's a Small World is great. It's iconic. People want to ride it. It has great history with Walt. I don't think we have what we have today without it. But I got to go People Mover.
All right, Brett, you're up.
It's a Small World.
Okay. And
I
now
wish the leaders of the world would ride Small World, and then the world would be better.
You probably are correct, for sure. Brett, I've gone to you last twice, and I apologize for that. So I'm going to go to you first in this next matchup, and that is the number 4 seed, the Haunted Mansion, versus the number 13 seed, Mad Tea Party. So, your thoughts?
This one's easier. So, the Haunted Mansion. Hello. Yes.
All right. We'll go to Matthew next.
I have called nothing yet our generation's Mad Tea Party. This is no contest. It's the Haunted Mansion.
Vanessa?
I am not for those spinning cups of doom. It is Haunted Mansion all the way.
Justin?
Only attraction I've ever been sick on at Disney was the teacups, and so I could not care less to see them stay in this this round. And of course, the Haunted Mansion is iconic. Everyone wants to see the Haunted Mansion, and it's got great history. I love everything about it. So, Haunted Mansion.
All right, and Panda?
The Haunted Mansion, my favorite attraction, will always win. I've ridden the teacups once. I don't like it. I vote for 1 mug at least, please, and that's it.
I can't wait for this Sweet 16 matchup that you just created for yourselves. This is going to be great. All right. The next one and the last one in our first round is the Big Thunder Mountain at the 6th seed, and then Goofy's Barnstormer at the 11th seed. So we'll go to Justin first.
Ooh, you know what? Surprisingly, this isn't that hard. I'm going to go with Big Thunder Mountain. It's one of the 3 mountains in the Magic Kingdom, but Barnstormer's great. I think Barnstormer is a little more aggressive than even Slinky is. That you come around those turns and it's a little bit, you're looking at your kid and you're going hands up, and then about 3 seconds later you're going hands down, and you're freaking out. So I really like it, but I'm gonna go with Big Thunder.
All right, John.
I don't understand why anybody waits for Barnstormer, because it's over in, I think it's 14 seconds for real. So I don't get it, but Thunder Mountain.
All right, Brett.
Big Thunder Mountain.
Vanessa?
There's a story there, but we don't have time.
Vanessa.
Isn't it the wildest ride in the
wilderness?
The wildest ride in the wilderness.
That's it.
Oh,
And
there
there's
we
a
go. We got
goat.
it.
I love goats, so I'm going
love
for the
goats.
Big Thunder Mountain.
We need to isolate just that sound, and that needs to
Make it a
be in a
ringtone.
future podcast. I love goats. All right, Matthew.
That could be the name of a podcast. I'm going to. I think Barnstormer is a fun attraction. I do enjoy doing it, but obviously, growing Tony Baxter's Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. And
I just wrote down the initials of that, and that is BTM, just like Beyond the Mouse. I like it. Now we move into the Sweet 16. This is going to be rapid fire, and you do not get to say anything about these attractions. You only get to say the word or the name of the attraction you want to move on. We're going to go back to Dak first to Disney's Animal Kingdom. I'm going to go to Matthew, the former cast member. Flight of Passage versus Kilimanjaro Safari.
No.
You're already breaking my rules.
Kilimanjaro Safaris.
All right. Justin.
Safari.
All right. Brett.
He's frozen.
Kilimanjaro Safaris.
What? Okay. All right. Panda.
Kilimanjaro Safaris.
This is nuts. Nuts, I tell you, Vanessa.
Safari.
I know. Madness. Returning back to our Epcot attractions, this is Spaceship Earth versus Test Track. And we'll go to Brett first.
Spaceship Earth.
All right. Justin?
Spaceship Earth.
Matthew?
Spaceship Earth.
Vanessa?
Spaceship Earth.
And Panda.
Spaceship Earth.
All right. 2 sweeps so far, getting into the Elite Eight. Going into the DHS region, we have, if I can read my writing, Runaway Railway versus Tower of Terror. All right. Let's go to Panda first.
Runaway Railway. That was hard.
Vanessa.
Runaway Railway.
Justin.
It's Runaway Railway.
Whoa. Matthew.
Runaway Railway.
So much for an icon of the park, huh? Brett.
Runaway Railway.
Whoa. I feel like there's some groupthink going on. Maybe we need to separate and isolate all of you for your voting. I don't know.
I feel like
We
it's gonna
are
get
all
contentious. It's gonna get contentious soon. Just wait.
I think the Magic Kingdom side, when we go there, there's gonna be some drama, some
And
drama going
the
on.
Elite Eight, I think, is gonna be.
Yeah, for sure. So now we're going to the Star Wars region, basically. We're going to go with Smugglers Run versus Rise of the Resistance, and we'll go to Vanessa first.
Rise of the Resistance.
All right. And we'll go Justin.
Rise of the Resistance.
Matthew.
Rise of the Resistance.
Panda.
Rise all the way.
And Brett.
Rise of the Resistance.
All right. Now we jump over to the Magic Kingdom half of the bracket. See, it goes much faster in the getting down to the Elite Eight. We're going to go Space Mountain versus Seven Dwarves Mine Train. Justin, you're going to go first.
Space Mountain.
All right. Matthew.
Space Mountain.
Okay. Panda.
Seven Dwarves.
Woo. All right. Little bit of difference there. Brett.
Seven Dwarfs.
Ooh. The deciding vote. Miss Ferguson.
Seven Dwarfs.
Hi.
Whoa.
That is
Uh-oh.
so
Ooh,
surprising.
Yeah, I can't believe this.
That just happened.
Justin.
I am feeling.
Matthew,
some-
you ready to
yeah.
go? Let's get out of here, buddy.
Justin, we're in the safe seat with the listeners. I feel like.
100% we are.
So many people just yelled. So many people. All right.
Everybody hates me.
Here was the match in the Sweet 16 that I thought for sure you all were going to have a hard time with. And I think you will. It's Splash Mountain versus the Haunted Mansion. We're going to go to Justin first.
Hate to do it because it's my favorite attraction, but Haunted Mansion.
All right. All right. Maybe you won't have as smart of a time. Matthew's like, what are you talking about?
It's easy. Haunted Mansion.
All right. All right. We'll go Brett.
Haunted Mansion.
Okay. Panda.
Haunted Mansion.
All right. And Vanessa, I went to you last twice. Sorry about that.
Haunted Mansion, of course.
Okay. Okay. I thought there might be a little bit more love for Splash Mountain. All right. We're going to go Big Thunder Mountain versus the People Mover. All right. We'll go to Vanessa first.
People Mover.
Okay. Matthew.
Thunder Mountain.
All right. Brett.
Thunder Mountain.
Panda.
Thunder Mountain.
Ooh, okay. And Justin.
I love you. You made my job so much easier. Thunder Mountain.
All right. And then the last matchup, which I will remind you, they both start with P, and one of them is Craig's favorite. One of them is not Craig's favorite, but not to sway the vote at all. We're going to go to Justin first. Peter Pan versus Pirates.
Pirates.
All right. We'll go to Panda.
I gotta go with Peter Pan. It's hard.
Thank you. Thank you. Matthew.
Justin and I. Pirates.
All right. Vanessa.
Pirates.
Oh, Hey,
I just
do any
wanted
of your
to-
shows need a new co-host?
Stick the
I'm
knife in
looking,
and turn it.
I'm shopping around. Brett, you're up.
I'd love
Just say
to
it.
help you out there. Pirates.
Just say it. Just put me out of my misery. All right. Now we are into the Elite Eight. We can give a little bit more time. We got through that round. We feel good about it. We can go back to giving a bit more time and explaining our votes as we move into what will go to the final four. So out of the combined Disney's Animal Kingdom Epcot region, we have the Kilimanjaro Safari versus Spaceship Earth. And we're going to go to, again, Matthew first.
This is really hard. Really, really tough. At this point, it's almost like I could easily be happy with either choice, but I'm still gonna keep Kilimanjaro Safaris in the running. As much of an icon as Spaceship Earth is, I think that given enough time, Kilimanjaro Safaris will be up there in iconic statuses as well, and it already is in many ways. But everything, again, going back to everything I mentioned at the beginning, the dynamic nature of the attraction, the live animals, I think Walt would have been a huge fan of the attraction. As a cast member, I appreciate everything that goes into it, and I have to push Kilimanjaro Safaris forward.
Awesome. We'll go to Brett next.
Spaceship Earth.
All right. Do you have any additional comments on that, or save them for later?
My back feels better after writing Spaceship Earth than after writing Kilimanjaro Safaris.
Hey, it's whatever, however you want to vote. One man, one vote. One woman, one vote. You got it here. John, your thoughts?
I have to go with Spaceship Earth only because with Kilimanjaro Safaris, I think you kind of know what to expect, even though it's different and it's live. But with Spaceship Earth, when you're first going on it as a kid or whenever, it's that journey into the unknown and what are they going to show me? And I just like the whole Spaceship Earth I got to go with.
Vanessa.
I will let her know, that is Dame Judi Dench, that I voted this way, Spaceship Earth, when I meet her.
Yeah, you'll just text her, right? You got that kind of,
Judy!
You got that number? All right, Justin, pressure's off on you a bit.
Yeah, I love Spaceship Earth, but Kilimanjaro Safari is everything Walt Disney wanted in the Jungle Cruise. And so the fact that now you get to experience that, and like you said, your attraction may be 15 minutes long, or maybe a half hour if a zebra walks in front of your car and you get to sit on the savannah for a while. So the unexpected nature of it, and like Matthew said, I think give it another 10 years, it'll be in that iconic status of attractions in any Disney park.
Oh, yes. But Spaceship Earth advances to our final four. Unfortunately, after having just a wonderful run against Flights of Passage, the safari goes down like Rome burning to Spaceship Earth. Sorry about that, Matthew. We'll have to try harder again in the future. But we're going to go to the other Elite Eight matchup out of DHS. This one is tough as well. It is our two newest attractions is Rise of the Resistance versus Runaway Railway. So we're going to go to Brett first. You were just in Disney World. You rode both of these.
Oh, this is
it. This is the tough one. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Woo, coming out strong for that. We're going to go to Panda next.
When I think of what I want to run to ride again, I'm going with Vanessa's therapy angle. It's Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway makes me happy. Not to say I don't like Rise less, but it does make me happy, and I would probably run to Runaway Railway first.
All right.
And so you can ride it more times than a day.
Yes.
There is an epic amount of Imagineering that's gone into both of these properties. So Matthew, I'm going to you.
If it loses, it'll break my heart more than Kilimanjaro Safaris did. So I'm going to say Rise of the Resistance, and not to pressure anybody, but that's easily for me the winner. I haven't done Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, so I'll have to do it and I already get it. Like I do, trust me, I get it. Like I fully immerse myself before even doing it, and I can understand it. But I still think all the pieces that went into Rise of the Resistance are so intricate and well woven together into this amazing whole experience. So for me, that's the winner.
All right, Justin, what you think?
I'm with Matthew. Rise of the Resistance is absolutely incredible, but people need to realize that it all started with a mouse. and I am going Mickey and Minnie's. For me, I get so happy every time I see the queue and I know what's coming ahead of me, and it's just so much fun. And so, although I love Rise and it's look, the technology in it is amazing, Mickey and Minnie's for me is, I think, going to be a must-do attraction for families for generations to come.
We also didn't mention the song. The song makes you happy too.
It's so great.
I'm just going to throw it out there, though. This song about, nothing will stop us now. And then all of a sudden, this pandemic shuts down a park and shuts down. I'm just saying, we're tempting fate maybe a little bit with this song. But Vanessa, you are up. The pressure is off. The 8 seed eliminates the 2 seed and advances to the final 4. But what would your vote have been?
Runaway Railway.
Okay, it would have had 4 votes, and that's probably because you asked Leslie Iwerks a question about Runaway Railway, didn't you, on episode 62? Again, got to plug our own podcast whenever we have the opportunity to do that. So that sets up, by the way, that's going to set up for the championship round, Spaceship Earth versus Runaway Railway. So have that in mind here in just a little bit. But before we get there, we're going to go to the Magic Kingdom side of the bracket. We have 7 Dwarves Mine Train, the shocker out of that, beating Space Mountain, versus the Haunted Mansion. All right, I'm going to go to Matthew first.
Haunted Mansion.
Okay.
I have nothing else to say.
The Cinderella run might be over. Is it, Justin?
Listen, 7 Dwarfs is great for the minute and 20 seconds that you're on it. It's fun. Hi ho, hi ho. I'm off to Haunted Mansion. I'll take Haunted Mansion moving along all day, every day.
You two really need to do a show together or something. You seem like you're very connected here.
I feel like I've met my brother
John.
now. I'm just like, you know what I mean? I have no idea. This is
Exactly.
This is great. Minds are the same.
Yep.
I just want to know how much colluding there was before this bracket. We're going to need you to turn over your Instagram and your Facebook threads. We'll have to see what this is about. Panda, you're up.
Haunted Mansion always wins. Always.
That might be foreshadowing of something. I don't know. Brett, your thoughts?
Haunted Mansion.
Okay. And Vanessa?
Haunted Mansion.
All right. That was a quick one. Haunted Mansion moves into the final 4. Last spot in our final 4 will either be Big Thunder Mountain or Pirates of the Caribbean. And I'll go to Vanessa first.
Well, when I ride and when I don't ride. So Pirates, of course, of the Caribbean. Yes.
All right. Go to Brett next.
Yo ho. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Justin, what are you thinking?
It's got to be Pirates. And I'll give Disneyland some love. Disneyland is better, but even in the Magic Kingdom, Pirates is amazing and takes out Big Thunder easily.
All right, Matthew?
I might pick the queue of Pirates at Walt Disney World over the ride, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. No, Pirates is great. I have to go with Pirates.
All right. And then John?
I always ride Pirates. I don't always do Thunder, so I got to go with Pirates.
Whew. So we have some great attractions in our final 4. It's really getting down to it here, guys. So here we are, out of the now Epcot versus DHS side of the bracket. We have Spaceship Earth versus maybe what will become the newer icon of the park, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. The surprise favorite, victor out of the Disney's Hollywood Studios side of the bracket. Matthew, we'll go to you first.
I was afraid you're going to go to me first. You all spoke up Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway enough that I'll even put it ahead of Spaceship Earth. I love Spaceship Earth, but I'll push it ahead.
All right, Brett Rutherford. I know this one is probably like picking favorites here, isn't it?
Sophie's choice. No, it all started with a mouse. So Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
There is something in the water in that attraction today. Vanessa, your thoughts?
I'm going to follow Matthew's thoughts here and just go with Runaway Railway.
All right, John?
Yeah, there's something wondrous, and it makes everybody a child. Your eyes just light up, your mouth opens, and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Okay, all right. Justin, is it going to be a sweep?
We've been waiting for years to get the Fab Five into an attraction in the parks. Now you get an amazing one with Mickey and Minnie's. And look, as much as I love Spaceship Earth, unless it's 15 minutes, I probably am passing by and going to get a delicious margarita at La Cava. So,
okay, all right. That is a sweep into the championship for one of the newest attractions on property, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. That to me is a surprise coming out of this side of the bracket. But let's go over to the Magic Kingdom side. We have the Haunted Mansion versus Pirates of the Caribbean, and two very iconic attractions for Imagineering, which is why I'm going to go to Justin first. I'm going to make our Imagineer wait here a little bit.
Which two? I'm sorry. One more time.
Go to you first.
And the two
Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean.
Wait, me first. See, I didn't hear you for a reason. I'm gonna go with man. I gotta go with Haunted Mansion. I don't think you can kick Haunted Mansion out of the Magic Kingdom. I think if at any point someone said you have to keep one attraction at all times in the Magic Kingdom, what's it going to be? Haunted Mansion. Master Gracie speaks.
Panda.
Justin just said it. He's right. Haunted Mansion.
All right, Matthew.
If this were Disneyland, my answer would be different.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll say Haunted Mansion.
I agree.
Yes.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe next year. Maybe next year we bring this crew back. Vanessa.
Haunted Mansion.
All right. And Brett.
But Matthew said exactly. If this were other park-based, but the Disney World's Haunted Mansion, the Magic Kingdom Haunted Mansion is superior.
All right. All right. We had two attractions that went for a sweep getting into this final round. And so I guess that's it, right? We don't have to crown a champion. We can just move on.
No,
we can end the episode.
I'm okay
I'm
with
kidding.
stopping.
No.
I'm kidding. I'm
We're
kidding, of
stopped.
course. I feel like maybe you should just all yell it out at the same time so you all get a chance to vote in this championship round. But we do have maybe one of the more iconic attractions ever in Disney history. There's so much history in the Haunted Mansion. Books have been written about this attraction. It's an amazing, amazing classic attraction. And then we also have one of our newer attractions on the other side, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. This is quite the matchup. Not the matchup I necessarily predicted at the beginning of all of this. I kind of thought we might be getting some Rise of the Resistance, maybe something like Space Mountain, but this is a lot different than I thought. So here we go for the championship for the best attraction in Walt Disney World. We're going to go to Vanessa, ladies first. What do you think?
The Haunted Mansion, of course. It is iconic, and I can wait to see Runaway Railway. But if I go to Disney, I'm not going to be able to not go to Magic Kingdom and see Haunted Mansion. So that's, of course, the pick.
I know that of the five of you that are voting, John lives, near the parks. Justin basically lives near the parks, so we're gonna go. He seems like he's there every other day. We're gonna go Justin first.
I love Mickey and Minnie. I think if after an hour and I think 15 minutes, if you don't know that we love Mickey and Minnie's, then we're missing something. But the Haunted Mansion, what other attraction do you get a free souvenir to follow you home every time? I'm going with the Haunted Mansion.
All right, John, you're up.
The Haunted Mansion has affected me since I was 5 years old when I first wrote it, and I'm glad my dad forced me to write it. And nothing compares to that. And again, like Justin said, I love the new Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and it might even be my second favorite ride in all of Walt Disney World. But Haunted Mansion reigns supreme.
All right, Matthew.
I just want to point out that it would have been the same thing if Rise of the Resistance got pushed forward as well. There's a parallel to a lot of things in Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway that Haunted Mansion has. So I think that's why it made it this far. But I still have to say Haunted Mansion. It's hard to top such an icon.
Brett, clean us up here.
Well, Justin, you were saying, that you get a souvenir. I'm like going, I have so many ghosts. I'm like, that have followed me home. Yes, the Haunted Mansion.
Woo. All right, there it is. The Haunted Mansion is our winner. How do you all feel about that? Let's talk about it a minute. Matthew, what do you think? You're our Imagineer podcaster. What do you think? Did we get this right?
I think we did. There's a reason it's the most popular episode of my show, and it's because it is one of those that everybody loves, and it was 10 years in development with some of the most iconic Imagineers and Walt himself. It's clearly a masterpiece, so I think we got it right.
Final thoughts, Justin?
Matthew nailed it. From the Imagineering to the marketing campaign that Disney ran back years and years ago for this amazing attraction that sat dormant there for a while. It's created memories for families for decades. It will continue to create memories for families for decades to come. It is, I think, Disney perfectly done with has fun for the little ones, a little bit of scare for the older. And I think it's the perfect attraction. I think that's why it's number one in the books.
All right, John.
Yeah, I think it's amazing too how much of a life of its own the Haunted Mansion has. Apart from just being an attraction, the characters live on outside the attraction, whether it's comic books or movies, and we're still supposed to be getting another movie, I hear. There is something about it that is not just the spook factor. When you're in it, it's just a certain feeling. Prior to this, if you would have said, what's your favorite attraction in Walt Disney World, I would have picked the Haunted Mansion. So I'm thrilled that we got it.
That's excellent. That is excellent. And I should recommend that comic book series that was done a few years back. It's incredible on the
It's
Haunted
actually
Mansion.
really good. Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's really great. You got to check it out. Brett.
Everyone has said everything about the Haunted Mansion, so I can't really say more than I'm glad that it's our number one.
All right. And Vanessa, any last thoughts?
It's an amazing ride. It doesn't have to be thrilling to just leave you with your jaw dropped. So everyone can enjoy it, and it is definitely iconic, and that is why it should be number one.
Absolutely. I completely agree with all of you. There were some surprises along the way, but you can't really argue with the Haunted Mansion and Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom had 16 entries in a tournament of 32, and there's a reason for that, right? But I have to tell you, this has just been, we've done nearly 100 episodes, and this has been one of the most fun episodes that I've been able to be a part of, and that's because of our amazing guests that came on. Thank you so much to all of you, to Justin, to Matthew, to John. This is just incredible, and I can't say enough about their content. So I want them to, again, plug their content one more time, because you do need to go check these out. If you're a listener of us, you need to go check these guys out. You need to go and listen to their content as well. We'll go with John first. You want to plug your show?
Thanks. Yes. Thank you very much. You do need to listen to your podcast, though. Yours is great, and that's why I'm here. BigFatPanda.com. It's got everything there. It connects to my YouTube channel. It connects to the Facebook group and stuff like that. And hopefully, if you don't know who I am, you get to know me, and hopefully you like me and love me. And that's it. BigFatPanda.com. Thank you. And every Tuesday, 8 p.m., there is a YouTube show.
Yes, and check out that live show too. It's really cool that you do that, and you can get some interaction that way. It's really wonderful. Matthew, can you promote your show for us one more time?
I'll second John's point. I wouldn't be here if your show wasn't worth listening to. So I have to say you do a great job as well. But again, ImagineerPodcast.com is the best way to find me, or just search for Imagineer Podcast on a podcast app of your choice, social media. It's all there. Lots of content. And I try to keep it entertaining and informative. And let me know what you think. DM me.
All right. And Justin, talk about Disney dads for us.
Yeah, Brett, Craig, Vanessa, thank you guys so much. It's always great to see your smiling faces. DisneyDadsPodcast.com. You can find our it's same as the other guys. Find our podcast anywhere you would like to stream those. If you want to reach out and had any questions about the show, DisneyDadsPodcast@gmail.com. And yeah, I absolutely love every time I come on hanging out and chatting with you guys. So thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And now, if you are a listener of any of these wonderful gentlemen and all of their content that they bring, you certainly can please hit that subscribe button for us as well at Beyond the Mouse. You can find us on any podcast app of your choice. We have some really great interviews. If you go back early in February, we spoke to Evangeline Lilly. That was a really fun interview, and just got to a lot of information about the Marvel Cinematic Universe and also her time in Lost as well. We've also had a lot of amazing Disney legends on our podcast, whether that be Floyd Norman a couple of times, one time talking about Soul. And then we've also had Jodie Benson and Raleigh Crump and Bob Gurr. So definitely check out all those previous interviews. But we also just like to have fun and chat amongst the three of us. You can find us on social media by going to Beyond the Mouse Podcast on Facebook, also Beyond the Mouse Pod on Instagram, and Beyond Mouse on Twitter. So follow along with us there. We are a community voice podcast of NPR Illinois, so you can find us on nprillinois.org as well. As well, we are a part of the Front Row Network, so you can find them on all of their social media too by searching for the Front Row Network. And again, this has just been an absolute treat. Final thoughts from you, Brett. What do you think?
Well, thank everyone for this fun, because sometimes these can be I don't know, a little dicey, but we're still friends, right? So that's a good thing. So
Absolutely. And Vanessa, any final words?
It's so fun having you guys on. It's nice to have other Disney fans who just, get it. And so thank you guys for coming on. It's been a real treat.
Couldn't say it any better than that. For Beyond the Mouse, I am Craig.
Matthew.
I'm Justin.
Gone.
Vanessa.
and I'm Brett.
And we will see you real soon in the front row.
Oh my
Or
gosh, it's
maybe
like
in a
Disney.
doom buggy, right? We could all fit in a doom buggy.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh
for
my
sure.
gosh.
Possible.
It's like a Disney brain trust here, don't you think? I mean,
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much. That was
Thank
so
you.
much
This was
fun.
a lot
Thank
of
you,
fun.
man.
This was a lot of fun.
I love goats.